Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of our Top 10 Songs. Today we are going to tackle one of the greatest hard rock bands from the US of A, Grand Funk Railroad. It's a band that's been asked for by numerous of you, and they're very near and dear to me, so this was a lot of fun to put together. I'm going to take a look at my top 10 favorite songs as well as a bunch of honorable mentions. And no, I'm not even going to get into the fact that this band amazingly is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's, I guess, a total topic for another day. Man, along with Jethro Tull, can you think of two other bands that have just been given the shaft all these years? They deserve to be in there anyway. Let's get on with it, why don't we? So my number 10 is coming from a very underrated album. It's an album that kind of followed up a huge hit for the band. I'm talking about the title track to Shining On, or Shining On. That album kind of got overshadowed a little bit by the We're an American Band album, which was just a fantastic second win for the band after a really, really hot start. And then all of a sudden the We're an American Band came out, and that just kind of took them to another level. And the Shining On album actually came out not long afterwards, and actually is a very, very solid album, stylistically very similar to the album that came before. And I really, really love the title track. It's got great hooks. It's got killer Hammond organ, gritty guitar riffs. Just love it. Catchy as all hell. Coming in at number 9, speaking of catchy as all hell, this tune just kind of exemplifies all that's great about Grand Funk Railroad. It is from their E Pluribus Funk album, which I love a lot. It's Foot Stompin' Music. A very accessible tune. It's got a ton of groove, got a ton of funk, ton of rock and roll. It's got a blistering Mark Farner guitar solo. It's got just great vocals, killer Hammond organ. Just one of those tunes that I dare you to put this song on and not get your feet stomping. That's why it's called Foot Stompin' Music. Get that air guitar out, man. It's just a lot of fun. Great tune. That's number 9. Coming in at number 8, we're going to go all the way back to the On Time album, their debut, for a song that I really dig a lot. It's a pretty gritty and heavy album, hard rocking album, a long album too. That album was kind of like pushing the boundaries of a single LP back in the day. I'm talking about Into the Sun off the On Time album. I love Farner's just insistent riffing in that song. It's just a rumbling grooves, man. What a power trio they were back in the day, huh? That's number 8. Coming in at number 7, going back to my favorite E Pluribus Funk album, talking about People, Let's Stop the War. Very underrated tune. I think that whole album is really underrated. Most people, when they talk about Grand Funk Railroad, of course they talk about We're an American Band. Of course they talk about the Closer to Home album. And of course they talk about the Grand Funk album, or the Red album, as it's often called. But man, E Pluribus Funk just rocks from start to finish. And I always love that tune. I love the wah-wah guitar riffs in that, the screaming solos. It's got a ton of bottom end. Just a really good pumping heavy rock tune. Love it. Coming in at number 6. Had to squeeze this in here somewhere, even though it's a tune we probably all heard a million times. But man, it's just a great rock and roll anthem. We're an American Band. Just love it. Always loved it. Still do love it. I can hear it over and over again, and I generally don't get tired of it. And it's just, it's got to be in this list somewhere. So I'm putting it about almost at the halfway point on my top 10. Coming in at number 5, we're going back to the E Pluribus Funk album again. Can I tell you how much I love that album? I Come Tumbling. I almost wanted this song to finish a little higher because I just dig it. And as much as I love the studio version of it, it's even better, and the live recordings are even better. But it's just such a great tune. It's kind of bluesy. It's heavy rock. Mark Farner was never the most technical guitar player on the planet, but he definitely played some scorching leads and some really cool passages in a lot of these songs. And I just love the kind of just some great and just killer grooves on this tune. This tune just pumps, man. Heavy rock at its best. Love it. That's number 5. Coming in at number 4, from the sophomore album Grand Funk, Got This Thing on the Move. What a killer tune to open up that album, huh? Hard driving rock. Grand Funk don't get enough credit for being one of the originators of that kind of U.S. heavy rock sound, man. I'm telling you. Got This Thing on the Move. Get your groove on the move. Number 3. And any given day, this might sit a little higher on this list, although there's not many spots available. I just love this tune. It's actually a cover song by them, but I think they made their version of this song even more popular than the original. I'm talking about Inside Looking Out. Dun, 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 and again, another one of those tunes that, as great as the studio version is, man, the version on the live album kills it. Just awesome, man. Foreigner just going off. Great vocals, killer guitar work. Love that song. It's so heavy. Awesome. Coming in at number 2 off the same album, the Grand Funk album or the Red album, the creepy, distorted, Paranoid. No, we're not talking about Black Sabbath's Paranoid. Grand Funk also had a Paranoid song right around the same time. Actually, I think it predated Paranoid from Sabbath by about a year. Man, dark, lethal, heavy. Very, very cool tune. Very chilling song also. Love it. And then coming in at number 1, and again, my top 3 could probably flip-flop at any time, but man, I really love this song a lot. It's the kickoff track. Grand Funk were great at throwing awesome songs first on an album. Their lead-off tracks on almost all their albums are just amazing, and this album is no different. It's from the Closer to Home album. Of course, I'm talking about Sin's a Good Man's Brother. What a loud, raucous, heavy, fuzzed-out, great tune with just some amazingly fuzz-tone bass, and the guitars are off the charts, wailing vocals. Man, love this high-energy rock and roll song. Sin's a Good Man's Brother is my number 1 pick. I just dig it quite a bit. So let's talk about some honorable mentions. There's many of them. And again, if you don't hear your favorites, doesn't mean I don't like them. I can't just list every song off every album. That'd be too easy, right? So I try to pick some of my absolute favorites. So don't think I'm dissing any songs that I'm not mentioning here. All right, so let's start from the On Time album. We're going to work our way back. Other favorites from that debut, Are You Ready? Like quite a bit. Anybody's Answer is another good one. High on a Horse, good bluesy hard rock tune. Got to have Heartbreaker on here, right? Cool tune. Can't Be Too Long, another favorite. From the second album, the Grand Funk album, how about In Need? Mr. Limousine Driver, it's another good one. From Closer to Home, how about Nothing Is the Same? Good high-energy rocker. I'm Your Captain. I almost had I'm Your Captain in my top 10. I do really love that song a lot. I just like those other tunes better, and I know it's one of the most famous songs by the band, and it's a great tune. It's a very different song from a lot of the other stuff they did. It's this great epic. It's a wonderfully constructed song. I love it. Just didn't quite make my top 10. Aimless Lady, another great hard rocker from the Closer to Home album. From Survival, underrated album. None of the songs on that album made my top 10, but I do dig it quite a bit. The Hard Rockin' Country Road is great. All You've Got Is Money. Love that tune. Another good, really heavy, raucous, hard rocker with a little bit of funk in it. And that sat just outside my top 10. I Want Freedom is great, as well as their cover of Gimme Shelter by the Stones. Very, very commendable job on that. From the E Pluribus Funk album, I love the entire album. Upsetter is another great up-tempo tune that I dig quite a bit. Save the Land, another really good hard rocker. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Great tune. No Lies is great. How about Loneliness? That's kind of almost like the sequel to I'm Your Captain. Another really good, melancholy, moody, long rock and roll tune. From the Phoenix album, how about Rock and Roll Soul? Memorable. The instrumental Fly to the Phoenix, awesome. First album with Craig Frost on Hammond organ and keyboards. From the We're an American Band album, another album that had so many great songs. Black Licorice also was originally in my top 10, and it got bumped at the last minute for Shining On. I think I like Shining On a little bit better, but I love them both. Stop Looking Back, a great kickoff tune. Creepin's great. How about The Railroad? Awesome song. Walk Like a Man. Loneliest Rider. I mean, come on, just great tunes. From Shining On, how about To Get Back In? That's a really good kind of like just good time rock and roll song. I love The Locomotion. I think their version of The Locomotion is fantastic. It's hard rocking. It's fun. It's like one of the few Grand Funk Railroad tunes my wife actually likes. And it's got a great guitar solo. Carry Me Through is a great tune. And how about Please Me? Please Me is a great song. From All the Girls in the World Beware, underrated album. How about Life? Good and Evil. Mark's kind of ode to his ex-girlfriend, or is it ex-wife? I forget. Bad Time. Great tune. Some Kind of Wonderful. Great songs. From Born to Die. How about Dues? good driving hard rocker. Politician, another gritty rock and roll tune. From Good Singing, Good Playing, another underrated album. How about Out to Get You? Blistering guitar solos by Farner and producer Frank Zappa. How about Pass It Around? 1976, another great tune. Going for the Pastor. Great songs. Another underrated album, the Lives or Lives album. I never know how they say that. Queen Bee, which is also in the heavy metal soundtrack. Great tune. Testify is a good hard rocker. No Reason Why and Greed of Man. All great songs from that album. How about from their last studio album? God, it seems like forever ago. Maybe it is, I guess. From the What's Funk album. How about Rock and Roll American Style? Still Waiting. El Salvador. Life in Outer Space. You know, probably that What's Funk album is probably their weakest album, or one of them. But still has some good material on it. I think the Lives or the Lives album is actually really, really strong, despite the fact that it doesn't have the original, lineup of the band, but good stuff. So let us recap my top 10, why don't we? So coming in at number 1, Sin's a Good Man's Brother. Number 2, Paranoid. Number 3, Inside Looking Out. Number 4, Got This Thing on the Move. Number 5, I Come Tumbling. Number 6, We're an American Band. Number 7, People Let's Stop the War. Number 8, Into the Sun. Number 9, Foot Stomping Music. And number 10, Shining On. Some great stuff by a great band. Again, another all-time favorite of mine that just, all their music is just so good. Whether they're doing their early, like really heavy rock, almost proto-metal type stuff, to their more pop-related stuff, to their more just kind of straightforward rock and roll tunes. Just killer stuff all the way. Mark Farner, an incredible vocalist and a really underrated guitar player. And just the band in general, that rhythm section, man. Woo! Cooking. I never got to see them back in the day. I caught them, I think, two years ago. I saw them, obviously, without Mark Farner, and I really enjoyed them a lot. I know a lot of people kind of diss the current lineup because they really gave Mark the shaft, but it'd be cool to see them reunite with him at some point. But you still can have a really good time going to see Grand Funk Railroad today. I know some of you don't want to hear that, but it is true. It is true. So anyway, there's your top 10 songs from Grand Funk Railroad. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on the mighty YouTube very, very often. We got another top 10 show coming right up. We are going to tackle Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow, so stay tuned.